It was 30 years ago this week that HIV was discovered as the cause of AIDS. But in what became Canada's deadliest medical scandal, the Canadian Red Cross distributed contaminated blood for another 6 years after that. Avery?
Thank you, Gordon. You know, there's an entire generation of young people who simply do not know about the tainted blood scandal. In fact, anyone under the age of 25 has probably never even heard about the thousands of people infected with HIV and hepatitis C. Steve and Saxon Lambert are sharing their grief to try to change that. Tyler, the toddler, not in the deepest, darkest corner of anyone's mind could you ever imagine what was about to befall him.
Tyler was a bundle of joy. Came into the world with blonde hair, blue eyes.
A golden-haired boy who grew up to be one of the last legacies of this country's deadliest, most horrifying medical scandals. When you get a phone call that says, "We need to talk to you about your son," what do they say to you?
They were quite blunt. Your son is HIV positive.
Tyler Lambert was born in 1977 with hemophilia, a blood clotting disorder where survival rests on transfusions of other people's blood products. In the mid-1980s, a terrifying discovery. The very transfusions that were meant to save people were actually infecting them with deadly diseases. HIV and hepatitis C tainted blood was injected into tens of thousands of hemophiliacs for years. At what age do you think that Tyler was infected?
Probably around the age of 3 or 4.
HIV in the 1980s was the most feared, stigmatized disease. No one dared breathe a word about Tyler's condition.
We didn't want that stigma attached to our son that no one would go near him because it was that the modern plague.
And Tyler was always, "Don't worry, Mom, everything's going to be okay."
And it was for decades. Defying really all odds, Tyler goes on to lead an extraordinarily normal life. School and girlfriends, traveling.
All that.
He lived on his own, so independent. And I guess we just thought we'd just carry on.
But in the last year, Tyler's body had second thoughts. His body started breaking down.
His body was breaking down, yes. Dropped a lot of weight without eating. He dropped 30 pounds. He got that sunken in here from losing his teeth.
March 21st, Tyler Lambert celebrated his 37th birthday.
He wanted to go someplace warm. Yeah. He was here lifting tins of soup to try and build up the strength in his arms and marching in the spot.
Did you know that that wouldn't be possible?
Yes. Yeah, I did.
1 week later, a regular doctor's appointment reveals severe pneumonia. 2 days in the ER, and doctors start asking about do not resuscitate orders.
That's when he said to me,
"Am I dying today?"
"Am I dying?" And I said, "Not today."
On April 3rd, Tyler's heart rate plummeted.
That's when I gave him a kiss. In my heart, know that he knew we were there and we were holding his hand, and and then he died very quickly.
He was such a strong individual. I wish I could be half his strength.
I am so sad that my son isn't here. But to be angry would just be everything that he wasn't.
Tyler Lambert's death is more than just one family's excruciating pain. It's also another survivor silenced.
As these hemophiliacs start to pass away, and there are not many left, then the story will really be forgotten.
And so, in the throes of grief, the Lamberts sit for a TV interview.
No parent should bury a child. This is just not the order of things.
They also scream their son's story in capital letters from his obituary, sharing the news that must not be forgotten.
This story is not being told in schools, so if we don't tell it, who is?
And in 2001, the Supreme Court of Canada did find the Canadian Red Cross guilty of negligence for failing to test the blood properly for HIV.
And all the while he's having his transfusions, and no one is aware that this is endangering his life.
Right, you're thinking that this is going to be something that is saving your child.
And the point you brought up in our discussion today, that a lot of young people today have no clue that this ever happened, the tainted blood scandal.
Anyone sort of under the age of 25, because it was that long ago, doesn't know about it. And it's just one of those things that many hemophiliacs have now died of HIV or Hep C complications of. And this is why the Lamberts feel so strongly that their son's story really does need to be told.
Yeah, good piece. Thank you.
I'd love to hear from you about this or any other other story, I am on Twitter at City Avery.
The Inside Story runs every Tuesday and Thursday on City News. All segments are up on our website, citynews.ca.